With that damn knot in my chest, I drove into the Glens Pride residential complex that evening. It was inexpensive housing that needed a new coat of paint, and grass was starting to grow through the cracks in the asphalt in the parking lot. In contrast, there was an impressive fleet of cars in the parking lot. There were numerous Lexus and BMWs, several high-end pickup trucks. Heck, I even spotted a first-class yellow Mustang around the corner. Most of these cars had one thing in common. They were old. Only a few looked new, and the rest were worn out. Scratches, dents, and dings testified that their owners were trying to squeeze a few more years and miles out of cars they had bought in better times. I thought about this as I parked my 2-year-old Toyota Avalon near the house Ed had given me the number for. I knocked on the door and the resident opened it. He was unshaven, but it was the weekend. He was wearing a clean but worn t-shirt and faded jeans, comfortable clothes. The man was about 40, but he could have been a worn-out 35 or a healthy 50. For some reason, I didn't believe he was 50. He was holding a can of Diet Pepsi in his hand. "Are you Ed's friend?" he asked suspiciously. "Yes, Kit." I held out my hand and he shook it cautiously. "I think you'd better come in." His face was contorted with pain. I don't know if he always looked like that or if it was because he knew I was coming and what we were going to talk about. I looked around as I entered. Against the wall was a sofa with sagging, worn cushions. Next to the front door was a recliner. On the table next to it were remote controls and a stack of well-thumbed westerns, spy novels, and history books. To the right of the door was a small dining table, large enough for two, and a kitchenette. There were several dirty plates in the sink, and the trash probably needed to be taken out, but otherwise everything was clean. The carpet was a faded rust color with several stains. He noticed my gaze. "Nothing special, but cheap. And when you get divorced, that's the most important thing, unless you're rich. And there are no rich people after divorce. There are a lot of divorced men here. Some of them are cheaters. Some didn't get along with their wives. Some married whores like me. Can you tell me what happened?" Ed said I should hear your story. He didn't tell me anything else. I was married to that bitch for 12 years. I believed I would live with her forever with that whore. We had 2 children. We had jobs. Life wasn't perfect. We were broke. But when are you ever not broke? I believed everything was fine. Then that bitch cheated on me. "Why?" "Why?" he asked indignantly. "What does it matter why? Isn't it enough that she did it?" He hesitated a little, then said, "Besides, I never found out why." "Really? Why?" "Because of what I did." A grim half-smile appeared on his face. Then he grimaced, and it disappeared. "That bitch hurt me. She hurt me badly, and I needed revenge. That lying whore believed I was an idiot and that she could do whatever she wanted and get away with it. Well, not on my turf. I had to look in the mirror. She took my manhood away from me and I wanted it back." He leaned forward in his chair and rested his elbows on his knees, and I could see his thoughts drifting back to the distant past. From his body language, I could tell that this chair was his home. He spoke slowly. "I just couldn't live with the thought that she got away without paying for everything. So I planned everything, waited, hired a detective, and collected photos. On Thanksgiving, we had a big dinner with most of the family. I took the kids out of the dining room and sat them down to watch a movie, while I poured champagne and took out a large folder and pulled out some 8x10 photos. They cost a fortune, as did the detectives, and I threw them on the table and told them what that damn bitch had been doing." He laughed maliciously. "You should have seen her face. Everyone's faces. I wish I hadn't done that. The photos were scattered all over the table, and some of them landed in the potatoes with gravy. It was a terrible mess. But that wasn't all. I sent her a damn envelope at work. She was having fun with some guy in the office." "What happened next?" "Those fucking bastards blamed me." "What?" I exclaimed indignantly. "Why did they do that?" Did you beat her or cheat on her or something? No, no. They were angry at me for... What did that jerk Jim say? Making a scene. Making a scene? You want a scene? Look at your wife bent over the couch. Now that's a scene. Some were angry that I ruined their holiday. Some were angry that I told them about it. Others were angry that I treated her so cruelly. Fucking bastards. He sighed. It was awful. Most of her relatives, of course, aren't talking to me. And my mother was furious like I've never seen her before. My own mother. I guess all women are bitches. She said I ruined us, as if it were some damn hot dish or something. It wasn't a hot dish. It was a burnt-out marriage. What did your wife say? She didn't say anything. The bitch wouldn't talk to me after that. I heard from relatives that I hurt her too much. La-di-da, damn it, I hurt her? That unbelievable bitch had the nerve to say that I, damn it, hurt her too much? I trusted her. I loved her. And she did this to me. Of course, we got divorced, and she filed a counterclaim or whatever the hell it's called. Whoever she was. I grimaced. Was it bad? Have you ever heard of a good divorce? Well, I fired her because of the photos I sent to her boss and that bitch judge. I swear, all those bitches are in cahoots. They made me pay maximum alimony because it's my fault she lost her job. And child support. Child support doesn't bother me that much. They're my kids. I don't want to ruin their lives. Not like their mother who cheated on me. But writing her a check always makes me mad. Did she get the house? Yes, he sighed, lowering his head. That doesn't bother me either. I mean, it was hard enough for the kids, but that bitch brought some guy there to live with her. That bothers me. Did she keep seeing that guy? No. His face took on a strange expression. I asked a few friends. The few I have left. She broke up with that fucking bastard from work a couple of weeks before November. She hasn't seen him since. I thought about that for a few seconds. If she broke up with him, didn't you think, make up? He gave me a withering look. What kind of man are you? Who do you think I am? Didn't you hear what I said? She cheated on me. She slept with another man. Do you think I'm some kind of weak, cuckolded cream pie eater? Even if she crawled back to me on her knees, I wouldn't take her back. He leaned back in his chair, as if enjoying the image in his head. Once a cheater, always a cheater, he said slowly. I shuddered at the image. And if she cheated on you once, she'll cheat on you again. No ifs, ands, or buts. How did you catch her? Fools. I waited a second, believing it was just his way of talking. When he didn't continue, I looked at him in confusion. Fools? Yes, she was a very careful whore. She took showers. She made up good excuses. She made sure I didn't find out. I was a damn fool. But I took out the trash like a good, weak husband. We bought cheap, clear trash bags, and I noticed that there were suddenly a hell of a lot of Summer's Eve boxes in the trash. No bitch washes herself that often unless she's doing something she shouldn't be, so I started watching her. I caught her. I thought about it. I shook my head mentally and changed the subject. Your kids, what about them? He slumped. My Becca. She was smart as a whip. Always had been. Right after the divorce, her grades dropped like a rock. I did everything I could, hired tutors, spent as much time with her as I could. Damn custody rules. I really tried. She's okay now. Jeremy's better too, but he was depressed for a long time. They're not the same as they used to be. Not quite, even after 4 years. We were silent while he thought about his children, and I respected the pain I heard in his voice. After a while, he said, Ed sent you here. He said you're going through the same thing. I nodded. Yes. When I admitted it, it felt like the knot I'd been carrying in my chest for the last few weeks tightened even more. Divorce her. Don't suffer, because she'll do it again and bring you home some other woman. There are good women in the world, but once she's broken, she'll do it again. Bob from 3B. That damn fool took his wife back. She cheated on him many times before he finally came to his senses. Don't settle, because she's already hurt you badly. Don't let her take your pride away from you. It's all you have left. He was sympathetic. I don't know. I have a kid. I stumbled as I stood up. Thanks for listening. I headed for the door. He sat there and looked at me. Man. Kit. You need to look in the mirror. If you take her back, she'll believe she got the better of you. And before you know it, you'll fight. Or she'll go back to her games, or she'll get excited about another guy and break your heart again. And if you're a big jerk, she'll talk you into letting her have fun on the side. Don't do that. Get rid of her. Maybe not the way I did, but dump that bitch and find yourself a good woman. I'll keep an eye out. And 4 years had passed, as I mentally noted. He stood up wearily and walked over to me, shaking my hand. You have to figure this out for yourself. But think about it carefully and don't let yourself be fooled. He winked at me. I left and sat in my car for a while, thinking about the changes coming in my life. Aside from his obsession, he had said some very sensible things, and he clearly loved his children. And trust. Once it's broken, how do you fix it? Ed, my favorite bartender, gave me this guy's name when I poured my heart out to him. I cursed and railed against my unfaithful wife, talking heatedly about revenge, divorce, and reconciliation. He made a phone call and sent me over to see him. I didn't understand why. He didn't seem particularly wise or even smart. One thing he said stuck with me. Don't let her take your pride away from you. She stole a lot with her infidelity. My confidence as a husband, lover, man, my faith in her and in people in general. She stole my vision of what the future held for me. And now Captain Turret was warning me that she was trying to steal my pride. I looked at his shabby little apartment. Then I imagined a big house somewhere with a couple of unhappy children and a wife who probably didn't enjoy life. Very few single mothers could attract young, well-built men. Pride, one of the 7 deadly sins on a par with lust, also seemed to have its price. 2 unhappy dwellings. No, not dwellings, homes, for the price of pride. I started the car. Time to go to the lawyer. As it turned out, I had to make 2 stops. Damn! I entered the house. Peggy was standing there, glancing cautiously at me. There had been a lot of unpleasant and angry words over the past week, and I really couldn't blame her. However, I believed that I looked much calmer today. For some reason, she still looked very distressed. Maybe I didn't look calm. Maybe my calmness was making her uneasy, especially if I was thinking about divorce. Bitch, I tried my best to even express my thoughts politely. She was playing mommy again, holding our 1-year-old daughter Mary in her arms and rocking her. She claimed it was a mixture of hormones, fatigue, postpartum depression, insecurity, and of course, the problems I had caused her that made her cheat on me. Yeah, right. Why might matter later, but not now. We need to talk, I told her. Are you going to yell at me again? I'm sorry, she said quickly, noticing my grim expression. I don't want to fight, but I don't want you to wake Mary. Of course. You're Betty Crocker, damn it. I wonder if Betty had fun with other men, too. I dismissed the thought as unworthy. I tried to take the middle road, but it was difficult. I struggled to keep my voice steady. Here's what we'll do. Put her down, and we can focus on having a constructive conversation. She continued to stare at me with a wary expression. The fact that I was carrying a large plastic bag and a thick envelope didn't exactly reassure her, but she turned and went upstairs to put Mary in her crib. To be honest, I found this expression much more honest than the smiling, cheerful Stepford wife she had tried to portray when I first found out about her affair, as if she could smile and have sex her way out of trouble. I wasn't that stupid or naive. She came back and sat down on the sofa. I took a chair on the other side of the coffee table, as I had some documents I wanted to show her. You say you want us to get through this, but I'm finding it very difficult to do so. Despite what you said, I did everything I could to save our marriage. I didn't make things worse by cheating on you. Now I have two options. I can go to a lawyer, get a divorce, and we can move on with our lives. Maybe we'll meet someone else. Maybe our lives will be full of regrets. But I'll keep my pride. When I said the word divorce, she visibly tensed up. I watched her body language closely. It meant something important to her. The problem was that I didn't know her motives, just staying with me so she wouldn't be labeled a slut, or because she didn't want to be a single mother, didn't really work for me. I wanted her to be with me because she wanted to be with me. The knot in my chest didn't tighten anymore, but it didn't loosen either. Another option is to forget about it completely and pretend nothing happened. When I mentioned this, she sat up a little straighter. That means I swallow my pride and live with the humiliation that you cheated on me. I can try to find a way to get over the pain. I didn't mean to hurt you, she repeated, probably for the 100th time in the last week. This time she said it defensively. And I apologized until my throat hurt. Drunk drivers don't want to hit pedestrians either, but that doesn't make them any less dead. I took a deep breath and suppressed my emotions. Nevertheless, I don't want a divorce. But today, in this shitty apartment, I realized something. There was a divorced man there. You know, I didn't even know his name. Just some anonymous guy with an obsession. It doesn't matter. He was cheated on too, but he was proud and got divorced. I didn't like that, but I saw where he lived. There were a lot of divorced men living there, and they lived poorly. They were cheated by the system. This guy's wife cheated on him twice. I took another deep breath. I don't want a divorce, I repeated, but we have serious trust issues. Maybe I hurt our marriage too, but I didn't do anything that deserved that level of disrespect. So I have 3 conditions. You said you want to make amends and you swear you love me. I'll take you at your word. I have 3 demands. First, we need to find a marriage counselor, someone who can help us work through this, and we'll probably both need therapy. If we've gotten to this point, then obviously we don't know how to save our marriage, and we need help and time to think things through. She nodded slowly. I don't like the idea of airing our dirty laundry in public, but I think I can do it. If it's a man, I interrupted her. It will be a man. She frowned but said nothing. I'm going to have to reveal to another man that my wife hit me in the back, and you won't have to deal with all that stupid emotional sisterhood stuff. With a man, I might feel more supported. Or at least I'll trust him more. And that's what it's all about, right? If I can't trust a counselor, why waste money on visits? She clearly didn't like my logic, but it was hard to argue with her. I took the envelope out of the manila folder. Second, we need to go to a notary tomorrow, and you need to sign these documents. I placed the documents on the table in front of her, straightening them so they lay flat. These are my personal documents. What are these? She barely glanced at them. This is a document for divorce on the grounds of adultery, I began, touching one of the documents. You're a monster! I believed you when you said you wanted to save our marriage. Her face was indignant. I did, and I do. Listen carefully. I said you have to sign. I won't. It won't be legal until we both sign. What are you trying to do? Are you just stringing me along and getting ready to pull the rug out from under me? Are you trying to hold me hostage? Is this blackmail? I shook my head. Nothing like that. This is about trust, and I don't have any. The first document is a confirmation that you are waiving your right to have a lawyer review the prenuptial agreement and agree to act as your own representative. You confirm that you have had the opportunity to review it. The second document is the prenuptial agreement. It's pretty unfair to me. You agree to 30% of the total property, alimony for 6 months, and half of the proceeds from the sale of the house. You give me unlimited visitation rights to Mary, and a few personal items that I love are taken out of the joint property and given to me. There is no mention of child support for Mary because I love my daughter and will not let her suffer. What's to stop you from luring me with the possibility of reconciliation and then just signing the papers to cheat me? she asked, crossing her arms over her chest. You'll just have to trust me. She paled noticeably. Listen, this past week I've felt very insecure about myself and our marriage, but I'm not going to subject myself to abuse from you again because of your actions if things don't work out between us. I don't want that. I hesitated a little. I would like us to finally get to the point where we can go to a barbecue and burn all these pages together. I would like to trust you enough that this offensive business turns to ashes and remains only a bad memory. My voice grew firmer. But that day hasn't come. Is this revenge? She asked, staring intently at my face. She seemed calmer. Number, I told you. If the worst happens and we do get divorced, all I'll have left is a shred of self-respect and my things. Things won't keep you warm at night, but they can make your life comfortable. And if we're getting divorced, I really don't care about your comfort. If there's a little revenge, blackmail, or whatever, well, I consider that a bonus. I regret smiling a little when I said that. Okay, not really sorry, but I felt a little guilty. Later. Much later. She didn't take it very well, but women sometimes lack a sense of humor. What's this? She asked, picking up the third document. This is an affidavit stating that you cheated on me. Divorce because of cheating isn't enough? Her eyes scanned the page. No, I want to be sure. She interrupted me, tearing the document in half. I'm not signing this. This is not up for discussion, I began. I won't sign it because it's not true. It says here that I gave myself completely to my lover, and that's not true. It wasn't love, I never let him do anything. And I won't admit to a lie. What are you saying? She reached out and put her hand on my shoulder. It practically says here that I was a whore for David, and that's not true. If I didn't let the man I love... I began to protest, but she interrupted me. I'm the same person, not some crazy whore. That's why I won't sign this. Why do you even need this? I didn't want to be the villain in this drama. You're not bad. You're trying to be good, at least as much as you can. I can't say it doesn't hurt, but... Okay, let's get this over with. What's the third thing? I reached for the chair to grab my bag. If we start having sex again? If we have sex, then you can take your papers and shove them up your ass. I'm not going through this to have a roommate. I want my husband back, not a lifetime of tiptoeing around and not being... She was breathing heavily, her face red with rage, and I felt the knot in my chest loosen. A little. She was serious. She wasn't interested in a platonic or inadequate relationship. She wanted to be here. She wanted to be my partner. She wanted to have sex with me. It was so important to her that she called me to tell me. One of the most painful things about this situation was the uncertainty that she loved me, that she needed me. And while I couldn't know if she liked sex with David more, the fact that she valued what we had and wanted it back so badly that she was willing to accept my terms made me feel not healed, but lighter. It gave me hope that maybe we could get through this. I fell silent, breathing heavily. It took me a few moments to collect my thoughts, and suddenly my last condition seemed a little silly. Honey? What's the last condition? She asked, looking at me intently. Peggy realized that something important had happened, and who knows? Maybe she felt hope too. I blushed and picked up the bag. When we start having sex again, I'd like you to use this for a while. She held out her hand with an expression that was a mixture of understanding and slight concern. She looked into the bag, and her expression quickly changed to one of bewilderment. She rummaged through the bag looking for sex toys and lingerie. Honey, there's nothing in here except air freshener. Damn it, this guy and his damn stories.